music for Lagos.
102.3 Max FM.
Before we finally jet out of Qatar, we want to x-ray the entire tournament itself. What were the high moments? What were the low moments? And which was what was the, should I say, the take home away from Qatar? Because right before the tournament started, a lot of people had questions. Can this tournament, be good? Is this going to be a controversial World Cup final? Whatever, questions came up. Issues kept coming up one after the other, and the tournament started and it ended. Did it live up to expectation?
Yeah.
Well, we'll be talking more about this as we go on the show. Remember, you can SMS us whatever opinion you have to share about it. 0818 0144 343 0818 0144 343. Now, overall, when it comes to rating World Cup tournaments, I mean, we've been having tournaments since the 1950s.
Yeah.
Down to 2022. Which do you think comparing Qatar 2022 to all the other World Cup moments, how did it stand up?
Okay, me I not go talk with you, I no see. You understand? Because all those 1930 no concern federal government and the one way I dey alive follow watch. You understand? Actually, more calculate both the expenses, waiting winner take home, the glamour, then the waiting lead to this kind of World Cup for November, then who win them?
Yeah.
Everything joined together. Now, for me, my best World Cup
Is this
Qatar 2022. From the hype we been there, expectation where everybody be look say she go work, the things we been surround them, say how they go give Qatar World Cup to host and all that. Plus say Messi be they find the World Cup and what a time to retire.
So Qatar,
Qatar,
Yeah.
oh that be
Qatar actually lived up to the expectations. They lived up to the billing. It's the best World Cup so far organized ever.
Okay.
It is the best World Cup ever because no violence recorded. There was no riot. In fact, the don't drink alcohol worked. People were in their right senses, positive energy everywhere, and it was a World Cup that was less trouble. If let's be realistic, and look at how it was organized, seamless. Everything just went smooth from the first day to the very last day. The intrigues, the games, the intentions, the goals, the back and forth.
First time
so
was
for me,
held in the Middle East.
yes, for me, it was a 2010 World Cup
Okay.
that was hosted in African soil for the very first time.
So that's
South
your
Africa
own.
2010, yes. The Vuvuzela, the ambience African, and that soundtrack this time for Africa.
True.
So the thing gave me memory that at least we Africans were supposed to be part of the World Cup, not to be hosting it in other far places. So I think 2010 World Cup, if you go back to that memory, you know that this one I will just witness now is nothing. The only thing that made this so memorable for Mark was probably because
the one you said they organized in Africa. Where did Africa get to in that one?
Okay, so the controversy is part of football.
Look at this man.
Ghana and Uruguay game that was supposed to take
If not for Messi turning back way.
go sit down.
As it dey like this now, people go actually they expect the next World Cup to pass this one. You understand? Over $44 million. Now who carry this World Cup? Take. And that one where they talk now, the total planning now 24 million. The total planning put together.
Okay, so
if you put money, put everything.
Football is arts and entertainment. If you look at the entertainment that in fact Nigeria participated too, if you look at the entertainment that was there in 2010 World Cup, you will see that it was something that we never expected that it would have happened in Africa. So this is modern day football, and money is beginning to become involved more than before. But when you look at the entertainment, the joy, the euphoria of Africa hosting, and that music this time for Africa, I can never forget that.
Well, we'll take a break. When we come back,
South Africa they not feature the video. The video perform for this.
Advice
Keep quiet. Keep quiet.
When we come back from the break,
what's it called? Whiskey don't perform for South Africa 2010.
when we come back from the break, guys, this is what we're going to focus on. Advice. This is what we're going to focus on. We're going to
Advice
focus
is
on,
boy.
The
aside
highs
from
and
the World
lows.
Cup final, which game
Particular.
which game was your highlight?
It's France Argentina.
No, aside the final.
Aside the final.
Yeah, of course. That's aside the
I foresee.
final. But what is debatable right now is, what do you think was the World Cup game highlight aside the final? After the final, which other game was spectacular?
Another game that actually got my attention, I think it would be Serbia Brazil. Yeah, that Serbia Brazil was very intense. You had a striker in that a Fulham striker.
Okay.
Yeah, for Serbia,
Mitrovic.
who was quite a promising person to deliver at the World Cup. And even though it was quite intense, and that goal from Richarlison, oh goodness, I mean, it was a beauty. I think that game was quite intense, and that point, I felt Brazil were going to go far. I didn't expect them to be edged out the way they got out, and I think they took it too. They were too casual against their opponent, and that's why they got out.
So
they paid for it.
flop team of the
team of the tournament. Flop team. What would that flop team
for me,
again?
Flop team of the tournament for me is Germany. I gave them all my hope. I supported them with everything in me. I wore their jersey. I snapped with their jersey. I paraded myself in the office as a German machine. At the end of the day, group stage.
German machine knock.
German Okada.
I'm telling you, they were the flop.
No fuel.
They were the flop of the tournament.
For me, the tournament will actually the match
game.
have been like pass. Now when they come out Portugal, come in Morocco.
Morocco.
My Africa brother come out far and go. As soon,
And
understand?
talking about Portugal, this was where the conversation came out from. That Portugal made a big mistake when they scored 6 against Switzerland.
And they wasted their goals.
This was a mistake they made. Switzerland was not a very, very highly technical team. They were quite a weak side. Because they scored 6, they felt they didn't need Ronaldo in the Morocco game, and they put him on the bench. That was what killed them. That was what killed them.
Mark, let me
That's a
preach
good
the
one.
gospel.
So what was
Them
flop team?
now the host.
Qatar.
In fact, that
Wow,
one. Don't
you're a bad person.
No, how
Person
now?
will
And
open
if
your
there's-
house.
if there's another
Greet
team-
una, you can't call a flop team
Now
again.
flat tire.
If there is another team that need to be in jail by now, that should be Saudi Arabia. They're supposed to be in jail now because they can't explain how you managed to beat Argentina. Argentina went ahead to win the World Cup, and you come up for group stage after beating Argentina.
But
you
they
could not beat anybody again.
but they beat world champion.
And so
That's a trophy.
They're supposed to. In fact, if not that, the coach has done so well in Africa. Usobolai am down now this morning. Flog them well.
this early morning.
Send
But
them
that's
to jail.
bragging. That's enough bragging rights for
See,
a team.
So I beat
That
after
after all they beat Messi. Messi no fit look their eye talk saying beat them.
So, but the team will actually tripped me for this thing. My hand over to them now Morocco. Sincerely, if you check that Morocco team, even ZH where we feel saying a star, the guys invite and come back. Then the coach now September they collect coach. Then they go work up for November, and he just been believed for the team we in gather. Now at least 60% of those players where they Morocco no go play for the clubs where they did by next season. Because if you check from the Amrabat to the ZH himself, they go somewhere on one year. I think say even Igbo boy where did that team, you understand? They be a Buffalo, I be Balfour, that guy. So players and the keeper again. So at least 6 players did that Morocco team where we said they are light, they don't on them.
Absolutely. Well, of course, I think for the teams that actually got my attention, I think I would give. I'll give it to Japan. Japan did a good job too. Let's not forget what they did. South Korea also did a fantastic job. They were able to pull off some very incredible result with the opponent. They weren't afraid to play, but just that Japan for me was one team I felt they were going to go far because they actually beat 2 giant football nations, and it just didn't work out for them at the end of the day.
Well, okay.
So credit, we may actually give credit to who credit is due. The coach of France. Upon saying no win this World Cup, in the you always do fantastic job. In captain the team to 1998 when they actually been win the World Cup. 2014 when he turned coach, he carried the reach quarter final. Then the next one 2018 in win them. 2022 the next World Cup in still reach final. And nobody really
coach of the tournament.
Never.
For me,
never. He was not matured enough to allow Benzema to blend.
Okay, so coach of the tournament should be the champ. He should be the coach of the tournament.
You can't give
How can you explain that?
Makimi, you have been overruled.
He went all the way after playing the last final.
Coach of the
2018,
tournament should be
winning it, he
Morocco
play again.
coach, I beg.
He almost got
What are you
itself
telling me?
from 2-0 down. Look at him.
let me explain how he get over 8 players like world class players injured and he still go reach final.
What do you mean?
No, there's no N'Golo Kante, there's no Paul Pogba,
no
And
Benzema.
credit to him, according to stats, recent stats with the recent World Cup, a lot of World Cup winners end up, crashing out in the first, the group stage. So he managed to get all the way to the
French
final.
has a pool of talents to pick from.
You
can't compare the structure of France football to that of Morocco, for God's sake.
How?
I will give it to the Morocco coach. What is they said? Didier Deschamps has been there. He won the last World Cup. You can't give him the credit again.
You know what's in the Morocco
What do you
coach
mean by
win?
that?
This is where this man chop for your hand.
No.
We'll pay you back.
I will not give you. I won't give it to
the
I
Division.
know
There's
what the
nothing
problem
special about
is.
him.
Because
Nothing special.
it's because of the
Nothing special.
Mbappe in that squad.
Nothing
Tell us what you know.
nothing special about
Tell us what
it.
you know.
Morocco coach fantastic. Argentina coach amazing. Yes.
Then the jam fantabulous.
After Saudi Arabia, he went on to win all his games and took the cup. Why would you give the show? What did he do? He won the last World Cup. Fine, leave it at the last place.
Go to the final.
Somebody that got to the final.
When
No, we should be playing drum for him.
everybody gave Luis Enrique and his Spanish
When
team,
almost 90% of your players are Africans. What are you jubilating
Then
about?
who will give
that's where you
That's what I'm telling you.
credit.
No,
This is
they are not
African
French.
team.
They are African boys.
Some of the guys, like we all know, Mbappe,
Nonsense.
Cameroon didn't deem him fit to
I
play
don't
the
care.
national team, and he took him.
I don't
and
care.
He's world star now.
If you call yourself Dede Deschamps, pick your Frenchmen and do the job. Don't pick Africans.
And
Well, you
away
know
from
what?
that,
Nonsense.
another player.
Hit music for Lagos. 102.3 Max FM.